There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 617. Today is Sunday, January 18th, 2025. And boys, what a weekend of fucking football. Coming to you a little later in the day, but man, we just capped off a great Sunday. Elvis, we'll get to your Patriots, Bears, Rams. What a game. I mean, Elvis, you and I were on last week talking about what a throw that was on the sideline Caleb Williams made. Then to come back to tie it, what a weekend. We'll get into everything, boys. Great to be with you both. How are we doing this week?
Doing well. Nice to be here.
Doing great, Dale. Not for nothing. This might have been the most turnovers in divisional round history. For the amount of turnovers we saw throughout this weekend, but it was some great games. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're going to start in Buffalo, but yeah, it was an amazing
in
weekend.
Denver.
Yeah, what'd I say? Buffalo? Yeah, Denver.
Speaking of turnovers, Josh Allen, wow.
Woo! Yes, 2 interceptions, and still, I mean, they were right there with it. I got to say, people mentioning Vance Joseph as a head coaching candidate, I don't know what they were watching. That defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Stunk in the second half.
Oh, my God. They were terrible in the second half. 20 points scored by the Buffalo or given up by the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, I didn't think really did anything. They really couldn't get the run game going. Marvin Mims had a pretty good game. Dalton Kincaid had a pretty good game. But Josh Allen, he was a difference maker in the game, and I think it was pretty evident. Defense didn't look great for either team. Obviously, tough blow for Bo Nix going out, breaking a bone in his ankle, so he's out for the rest of the postseason. But Joe, I'll start with you. What'd you see from Denver?
What was it, like a sacramenteus bone? It was like a very interesting bone that he broke that is going to require some time to heal up for Bo Nix. So, I mean, it just seems smothering a little bit on their part. They did their part to get the turnovers from Josh Allen, and in the press conference afterwards, he said he put the blame on himself, and as a good quarterback should. But we thought, if not now, then when, right? Like none of his rivals in there. I think McDermott should be on the hot seat. I think it was a poor performance from him there, actually. And then, it's not completely all on the entirety of the refs there in the end. I get the review, but at the end of the day, you set yourself up for, that type of moment to get taken away from you. I think they had chances to win throughout, and they let it slip through their hands. So, yeah, it was a disappointing loss for the Bills, but I think Mile High is going to be a tough place to play.
Elvis, was it an interception or not?
It was an absolute interception.
That was an interception.
Yeah. I know it's controversial on it, but by the rules, that's an interception. I don't know why is any controversy around it. To me, it's clear as day. I understand if it was more of like a bang play, but to me, that was an interception, no doubt about it. Not for none. I think the post-game locker room was very emotional for the Buffalo Bills, just because I think they knew this was a one of their best opportunities to go to the Super Bowl and win it all.
Yeah.
Winnable game. Josh Allen, 4 turnovers, huge fumble before the half that gave Denver an extra 3 points. Hey, if he doesn't fumble right before half, they get those extra 3 points.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They probably
putting all on his back is what caused those turnovers, though. Like they didn't have a lot on his side.
I was confused as why they even were trying to be aggressive before half anyway. Just go into halftime. Why even be aggressive?
You have the MVP of the league. Why not be aggressive? And to me, if you're going to walk out of Denver victorious, you had to be a little aggressive. So I don't fault it. I just wish he was a little more, protective of the football. That's all. At least considered protecting a little more. Though he was a little reckless with the football throughout the entirety of the game. But let's just be honest. The Buffalo Bills wouldn't be in position they're in if it wasn't for Josh Allen. So give credit to Buffalo. To me, they played well enough to win this game, but shut out Denver. Like you said, Dylan, earlier, they couldn't really get nothing going with the running game. Bo Nix let them then rush in. Not for nothing. Bo Nix played his tail off. Besides that one interception, Dill, he looked pretty damn great. Even though the Buffalo's defense showed up, he didn't even get sacked once. So
What was his
sucks.
rushing total? What was the over under?
The total I don't know, but he did rush for 29 yards.
Yeah, so it just sucks that he fractured the bone in his leg. He will be going to have surgery on Tuesday. He will be out for the AFC
Your boy
Championship
Jarrett Stidham.
and the Super Bowl. So that sucks because Broncos, I'm gonna be honest, they had a shot not just to win the AFC, but to win it all. So give credit to Sean Payton, give credit to Bo Nix. Just sucks that he's not able to represent in the AFC Championship game. And then one last thing on McDermott in the Bills. We saw the Buffalo Bills honestly run the ball great. They averaged over 5 yards a carry every time they touched it. Josh Allen had 66 yards on 12 attempts. James Cook had 24 carries, 117 yards. I was kind of surprised why they didn't go back more towards the run, especially after Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Why he wasn't more dependent on the run? He was averaging 5 yards a carry. To me, that's you got to put a little bit of blame on Joe Brady and McDermott on that.
Didn't they have one of the worst run defenses on the other side? Though?
No, they were ranked second.
Yeah.
Run defense, the Bills.
Yeah, Denver. Yeah, and Buffalo torched them.
Yeah,
Buffalo torched them.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Bills' defense, their defense was bad against the run all year.
Year. But in the second half, they were a top 5 defense, making adjustments in the second half.
And Ed Oliver came back. That was a huge bonus to stop the run yesterday. We saw it.
So Joey must have slammed the helmet.
Yeah, I did see that. Joe, you mentioned Jarrett Stidham. He's going to be the first NFL quarterback to start in the conference championship round or later after not throwing a single pass during the regular season since QB stats were first tracked in 1950.
Damn.
Lord. And it's got not even just a year. I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Right? It's
His last start was 2023. For the Broncos, if that matters, but
I mean, if you're the Bills, you're just a pretender. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not one to I'm a Jet fan, but we've been to more and we've won more than you have the last 10, 20 years.
Mark Sanchez, 4
Mark
wins.
Sanchez has more AFC championship wins than Josh Allen. That's just a fact. Okay. I mean, for the Patriots had a down what would you say, Elvis? A down 4 years, maybe or so?
Yeah. Since
Yeah,
because we made the playoffs with Mac Jones his rookie year, so I'm gonna say 5 years. I'm gonna say 5.
So 5 years. They had a down year for 5 years. You won the division all those years. What did you do? The Patriots are back in the AFC Championship game already.
Yeah,
and they're likely going to win it. It was just
the Chiefs to fill the void because I think since 2011, it's just been the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Been the Patriots, the Chiefs. Now it's the Patriots again.
And this Bengals one time. That's it.
They're irrelevant. The Josh Allen, for as good as he is and for as good of an organization and how much they've won the division, they don't do anything with it. They're a bunch of frauds, in my opinion. Yeah. It's just funny to me. Like they think they're these winners, that they're like these best team in the AFC. The Bills are the first team in NFL
the regular
history.
season. I think I saw some statistic where their winning percentage was like right next to Kansas City, like the Chiefs, and they had the biggest like point differential. It was like crazy. I don't think a team had over 600. They were at 900. So I mean, they really have kind of dominated the regular season. But yeah, they just fall flat in their face in the playoffs.
Bills are the first team in NFL history to lose by 3 points or fewer in the playoffs in 3 straight years. In 2023, they lost by 3 to the Chiefs, changed the rule. 2024 lost by 3 to the Chiefs, and then this year they lost by 3 to the Broncos. They're not clutch.
To me, it's just,
I think it's indicative of McDermott because you see the potential in Josh Allen. He can't do it all.
Oh, it's not Josh Allen. It's Sean McDermott.
Yeah, not for nothing. If you want to give some blame to Josh Allen over Saturday's game, you could throw some blame his way. But who put this team together? Why was Brandon Cooks the number 1 option down the stretch? We saw Keon Coleman
Yeah.
Drop
Dropped that
passes.
play, and then but he also caught a touchdown as well. We know Kincaid and Dawson Knox been stellar at the tight end position all year, but
Shakir had drops.
why was Valquez Van Stanley getting in the end zone? Why was Brandon Cooks your number one target? To me, they should have done a little better, filling the team around Josh Allen. You have James Cook, top 2 rusher in the NFL, top
No,
3
he won the
rusher.
title.
He won
He
the
was-
rushing title.
Yeah, led the league in rushing. You have the reigning MVP. You thought that was gonna be enough? Don't get me wrong. Buffalo, they're a talented squad, but I never thought once or coming into the season, the Bills should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely not. And that was the question in the preseason: who on the outside can you rely on down the stretch to win these tough games, to win those one-on-one battles, to get you that tough third or fourth key down?
There's not many guys.
And not for none, we saw it. What it came down to in overtime. Brandon Cooks, give credit to Brandon Cooks. And to me, he stepped up big time down the stretch and in the playoffs. But with all due respect, Brandon Cooks, I knew he wasn't going to be that big of a difference maker. And he was. But he wasn't that guy. He wasn't the reason why the Buffalo Bills was going to win possibly win the Super Bowl. So I like the addition down the stretch, but to me, the Buffalo season was doomed from the start from not adding a true number 1 receiver from the get-go.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned Devontae Adams. I thought that was someone they would have targeted in the offseason.
Yeah.
And real quick, though, let's not forget, before the season, the Buffalo Bills had a deal to get Jalen Waddle from Miami. They didn't want to give up 2 first-round picks. They wanted to give up the 2027 first-round pick, not 2026 and 2027.
It's a hard knock life. I mean, just got to do business. That's the price of doing business. You know what was a good pickup second game? Rashid Shaheed, 95 yards to start the game. And boys, they never looked back.
It was over.
It was over from there. -7 was the ultimate mortal lock of the year. We saw this game play out, 3 weeks ago, and it was a little closer. They were healthier, too. And you know what? I felt bad for Brock Purdy at the end of the day, but there was just this defense. Elvis, we'll talk about your defense in a minute, but I think this defense is the best in the league, and I think they showed it.
In the past 3 games, though, right? Don't you see that they've had to prepare against the Niners at only the only team they had to prepare for, right? Am I wrong about that?
100%.
In the past 3 weeks, it's only been the 49ers that they've had to prepare for. They know them well. I think they match up well against them, very much so. And the Vikings made a mistake giving up on Sam Darnold. But
huge.
They've given up 19 points the last 3 games. The 40.
Yeah.
The
Real
Steelers.
quick, Joe. Joey, just to add on that on the Vikings gave up a 14 win quarterback in Sammy D, right? And gave up at the time Daniel Jones, when healthy, was 8-2 as a starter.
Yeah. Yeah, they did have him in their back pocket.
JJ got potential though. But no, Sam Darnold, and that was the big question mark coming into the playoffs, boys. It was, the defense is good and they got a good run game. We all know JSN is elite. Can Sam Darnold protect the ball? And he's been proving people wrong. He has been good with the oblique injury. Yeah, he's not going to blow you out with the stats, but he didn't need to. It was all Kenneth Walker. 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards, and it was over. Cooper Kupp led the team in receiving, and they were just down so many guys with George Kittle being down, Fred Warner, everybody on the defensive end. And
it added up.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey wound up getting
I know that
hurt.
was your darling too, bro. You've been making money on him.
It had to come to an end, and Seattle was clearly the much better team. What'd you see? Yes, the offense is good, but talk about the defense. Seattle's defense was flying around.
No, that defense was definitely flying, and not for nothing. I think we hit it on. We hit it early in the season, though. Not even. I think the first few weeks of the season, we knew what the defense was capable of doing with the Seattle team. It's just, can Sammy D play good ball? Can he not be the reason why they lose? Because if you could just ride that defense, that defense is going to take them places. They could run the ball with Kenneth Walker the third, Zach Chardonnay, play action off that. You got Jackson Smith-Jr., you got Cooper Kupp, you got some options. And we saw Sammy D play at a very high level throughout the season, but the defense was just flat out special. Holding Christian McCaffrey, I understand they had 100 total yards as a collective, but Christian McCaffrey 11 rushes, 35 yards. Brock Purdy led them with 37. Jordan James couldn't do much, 6 carries, 28 yards. So the fact that it's multiple guys on that defense, they got guys on the front line, secondary, the young Bulls with Witherspoon, and on the other side as well. So they have multiple guys. You got from experience to young bucks, and let's not forget the coach McDonald, who I've been as a Patriots fan been advocating to me. Who he's been my coach of the year. So give credit to that defense. They were flat out phenomenal, just shutting everything down. And like I said, it was just too much to overcome with this 49ers team. A lot of injuries throughout the season, and then Tonga gets hurt during the game. CMC gets hurt during the game. It was good to see Pearsall. He was an impactful. I think he had 0 catches as well, but it was just too many injuries for this 49ers team. I was on them +7. I had some faith, but after that opening kickoff, the game got out of hand early.
I got two teams, like a comparison, if you will, with the Seahawks defense, and I want to see statistically how they match it with the early 10s, and I can attest to this, the Legion of Boom era. I want to see how they're stacking up statistically, because I think low key they might be better than that.
I was gonna say, Joe, I think they might be better.
And it's remnants of the no-name Dolphins defense, one of the only teams to ever go undefeated. They had such a gnarly defense that no one knew their names, and you can't tell me anybody can really name these guys on this defense. Maybe a Woolen, right? A Tariq Woolen, but that's about who you can name on the defense.
You got DeMarcus Lawrence on the defensive line.
It's a handful of guys that you can name compared to a lot of the big name guys, and so that's why I bring up that Dolphins defense. That was the nickname No Name defense. So yeah, they're on a new level.
It was funny that you said that, because that was going to be my question to you. What, as a Seahawk fan, what would you think is better, this year's defense or the LOB year? And I had my take, and I think it's low key. They got dogs on every level. On the D line, linebacker, and in the secondary. Boys, let me read you a stat from the Seahawks. The Seahawks scored 40+ points. They rushed for over 150 yards, had 0 turnovers, allowed 0 touchdowns, had fewer than 10 penalty yards, and scored a special teams touchdown. No other team in NFL history has done all that in any game, regular season or playoffs. This team is special. They do it everywhere. Special teams, defense, offense. And if Sam Darnold isn't turning the ball over, I don't know how they lose. Truly. I really don't know how they lose. And I want to look at the opening line. And yeah, they're -2.5. I thought they were going to be 4.5, 5.5. I'm going to go smash the 2.5 right now.
Yeah, because they were -7 lock.
Yeah,
I lock.
What one thing
real quick, and I'll let you jump in. You mentioned that they held CMC. First game that they played him, he rushed for 69 yards. He only averaged 3 yards a pop. Then in week 17, he averaged 2.9 yards, only 23 yards. And then yesterday, 3.2 yards. It's just a bad matchup. They're going to stop him. Now, what are you going to say? I'm sorry.
I can see why they only open as a 2.5-point favorite, because as you can see, even from yesterday, Sammy D's dealing with that oblique injury. And like you said, he didn't need to light it up. It was the running game and the defense. He went 12 for 17, 124, 1 touchdown, 0. He did get sacked twice, 0 interceptions, no turnovers, right? He played a clean game. Now, can you go out there and outgun a Matthew Stafford? Because we know the Rams are going to show up. We know that what Seattle's defense is capable of doing. But can Sammy D, if the defense and special teams don't get you some points with some scoring drives, Can Sammy D outgun Matthew Stafford? That's why I feel like the line is only at 2.5, just because he's dealing with the oblique injury. If he was 100% healthy, I think the line would have been at least 4. But we saw it yesterday. Sammy D is not 100% healthy. Now, can that defense replicate what they did against the 49ers? Can Kenneth Walker in that running game be as good as they were Saturday without possibly Zach Charbonnet next week? Because we saw him.
I just placed a bet in.
Hot take Sammy D snub for MVP if he's in the same position as your boy Drake May and Matt Stafford.
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well. And to your point, E, I don't think he's going to have to outgun him because I think that defense is going to limit Sam Darnold where they're just going to be able to run the ball, and then play action. They're going to hit him over the top with either Cooper Kupp or JSN. Last time the Rams were in this position, they had Cooper Kupp.
Ooh, X
Kupp
factor.
is now on the other side. I don't know. Obviously, they deserve to be the favorite. They have the better defense. They're the healthier team outside of Sam Darnold.
We all can agree NFC West was the best division in football.
Oh, by far, right?
Yeah, this year. We always make a case for the AFC North. AFC North wasn't that great.
Historic.
And not for none, the NFC North was pretty damn good.
Shout out
The
to
Vikings were what, 8-9 last place?
Low key.
And that's pretty. We saw the Panthers win the division at 8-9. So, 8-9 is pretty damn good for last place. Yeah.
100%.
A division winner.
And that was honestly the only blowout of the divisional round because then today it was all great games. And we'll head to New England where the Patriots, they cover 28-16. Talk about turnovers. I mean, the first
they stomped them.
It was disgusting. And I think us three, we're good friends. We're able to have tough conversations with one another and with people. I think tough conversation needs to happen with my boy CJ Stroud. The development has gone nowhere since his first year. And he's been in the same position in the divisional round for 3 straight years. I think DeMeco Ryans is a hell of a coach. That defense is a top 2, top 3, whatever you want to argue. They're a top 3 defense. Some people even say they're the best defense. It's not the defense. The defense kept them in the game. If it wasn't for that defense, the Patriots would have blew them out.
Yeah, we would have scored 45.
Easily.
But CJ Stroud is costing this team. He has not gotten better because after his first year, Elvis and I came on the show and said he's the top 10 quarterback. Since then, there's a conversation. He might be a bottom 10 quarterback. He is costing his teams. He is throwing the ball where you just don't. You can't throw the ball. Throw it away. The IQ is not there. And that hurts me to say because he's an Ohio State guy and I love him, but he hasn't developed. He hasn't. So, I'll let you start it off. What have you seen from CJ Stroud? Because it is bad.
Yeah, let's start with CJ Stroud. I definitely agree with you, though. I think CJ Stroud, he was definitely at his best, or we've seen CJ Stroud at his best his rookie season. His rookie season, he was flat out special. Took him to the divisional round. I think he had 4,000 passing yards as a rookie, 27 touchdowns, I believe. That's pretty damn impressive as a rookie in the NFL. And then till having 7 turnovers in 2 playoff games, that's not a good look. Not improving throughout the last few seasons, even though you have winning seasons, 3 straight playoffs appearances, those are all good. You have a couple playoff wins, those are good. But when you have an all-time defense and you out here turning over the ball how you were last week, 4 fumbles, an interception. This week, 4 interceptions. I understand why there's some questions about you now. Me personally, if I'm the front office, I'm picking up your 4th year option. To me, there's no doubt about it. I don't know if I'm ready to extend you after the performance last week and this week and give you $260 million contract. But I'm definitely picking up the 4th year option. Definitely has regressed. But do I believe in CJ Stroud? Do I think it's definitely some potential there? Absolutely. Is he the top 10-ish quarterback that we thought he was a couple years back? I think not. So We saw him. Willie Marks. He's a pretty good running back. We saw him with Joe Mixon last year,
They're not
who had
using
a
Woody Marks.
tremendous season. Dalton Schultz is a good tight end. Nico Collins. He has some weapons in Houston. It's not about the talent there. We know how good the defense is. It's just his inconsistency of play. So, like I said, I think we all fans of CJ Stroud, but he's clearly has regressed since his rookie year.
Yeah, real quick before we talk, because the shine has to go on the Patriots. But Joe, I want to jump to you real quick. How much did it hurt not having Nico Collins out there?
It showed a lot. It did. It showed a lot, and they're not using Woody Marks effectively.
No.
That was my point, because I think he was one of the better receiving backs coming out of college, and ever since then he's been more used as a rushing guy. So, yeah, we got to see some improvement in there, because you see glimpses of CJ Stroud and his potential. It kind of reminds me of like Brett Favre-esque, right? I want to see like a statistical comparison, because look at that rookie year for CJ Stroud, rookie of the year, right? 8th in MVP voting. I mean, over 4,000 yards passing. I think that's like similar to what happened to Brett Favre, and exactly a mirror image of them making the playoffs and both of them flopping on the turnover differential. I think they had tremendous, that gunslinger mentality and a lot of turnovers there. Because, like I said, you could see that CJ Stroud can sling the rock. It's just about doing it correctly and then protecting the ball when you're in the pocket, because that's teachable. I think that's what it is. And maybe the offensive coordinator, because who's that guy? Who's their offensive coordinator? Maybe they needed to get
another Kubiak, I think.
Is it Chris Kubiak? I was going to say, or Clay Kubiak. Yeah, to get him involved more for
Nick Caley.
Robbins, because D'Amico Ryans is a defensive guy, and they need someone to harness that offense.
Elvis, you guys win again at home. Here's a crazy stat. New England is 24-5. That's an .828 winning percentage at home in the postseason all time.
It's astronomical.
The best home postseason record of any NFL team who has played at least 10 games at home. The only team with more postseason home victories is the 49ers with 26 home victories.
Damn.
Kid, your team is great. The defense was flying around. You forced so many turnovers. The run game wasn't there. I'll say that Ramondre Stevenson.
It picked up at the end of the game, though.
It did. It did pick
Henderson
up a little
came
bit.
back in the game. Didn't he step out for a little?
Yes, he did. Keyshawn Boutte, what a hell of a catch.
I mean,
gotta give
Rose
credit
been
where
balling all year, under the radar a little bit.
Keyshawn Boutte. It was nice to see Stephon Diggs get a touchdown and some catches as well. Shout out Cardi B. She was live on Instagram going crazy. E, I will start with you. Ohio State boys leading your team and coach leading your team to the AFC Championship.
Talk your talk.
First of all week, I've been hearing Houston's defense, all the best defensive football. My response to those people has been, you got to be worried about our defense. In the first half, the Houston Texans was held to under a yard rushing. No, not total, average. I think they had 9 total yards rushing in the first half. They averaged less than a yard a carry in the first half. They finished the game totaled with 48 rushing yards. Majority did get it in the second half. They got 40 in the second half. Give credit to them. We was able to get 3 sacks on CJ Stroud. We was able to get 5 last week against Justin Herbert. 4 interceptions, Dale. And I'm hearing people already saying, oh, those are poor decisions by CJ Stroud. We force those poor decisions by CJ Stroud by our defense, Dale. It's not like he just made those decisions by himself. No, he was forced into those throws by our defense. So I don't want to hear anything more about this Houston defense. Drake May had 3 touchdowns on them. Yes, I understand he had 4 fumbles. Give credit. That was an amazing game by the Houston defense. It wasn't the reason they lost. I'm going to be honest. I saw the same game y'all watched. Drake May, somewhat of a fumbling issue. But when you got Will Anderson, DeAndre Hunter and them boys coming after you constantly, I can't be mad. My boy fumbled a couple times because we was able to recover. Right? We was able to recover most of them. So everything worked out. Give credit.
Real quick, is it fair to say that that's an issue moving forward, the fumbling?
Yeah, he leads the NFL in fumbles. Absolutely.
I said, and Ramondre too. Remember he had that?
Yeah. But still, when you're able to go 16 for 27, 3 touchdowns against allegedly the best defense in football. To me, that's pretty damn impressive in the snow. After arguably having one of your worst games of the season last week.
What was his percentage for the game?
Over 50%.
He had 72 for the year. I mean, that's ridiculously high.
Yeah.
So
whatever 16 for 17 is.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think Drake May is playing as well as you want anybody making their debut. Their playoff debut.
Oh,
and I don't want to hear about the Texas defense. I don't want to hear about Seattle's defense. The New England Patriots has been the most impressive defense thus far throughout the playoffs. Justin Herbert scored 3 points. The Houston Texans 16. You have 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks combined with 19 total points against our defense. Good luck. Jarrett Stidham won't be able to surpass what they combined to. He's not going to score more than 16. Justin Herbert scored 3. You think Jarrett Stidham is going to do more than that? So good luck to the Denver Broncos next week. I can't wait to talk about that. Our defense has been the most impressive defense this playoffs.
I don't push back on that. We have Adam Friend in the chat said, "Oh, Elvis is a Patriot fan. He's a Bronco fan." He says both of you guys hired 2 great coaches, drafted 2 great quarterbacks, and have both solid defenses. A lot of similarities. Good luck. See, he's being friendly. Good luck.
Yeah.
Would you like to take good luck back?
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck. And I'll be real. If Bo Nix was starting this game, I will be, let's just say, a little less confident.
You would agree that they would be favorite, correct?
Yeah, I say 1.5. Same thing they were with Buffalo.
Yeah,
I say 1.5. 1.
Okay. Yeah,
absolutely.
I would agree with that. Now, last thing, what do you say to the people? Because I've been hearing it on like Reddit or Twitter. What do you say to the people about scheduling? You guys had the easiest schedule. You guys don't play anybody. You play Justin Herbert, a guy who chokes every year in the playoff, another guy in CJ Stroud. Like, what do you say? And now you got Jarrett Stidham. What do you say to those people?
We just saw the ESPN crew, all of them, pick the Houston Texans to win the game.
Yes.
I saw multiple people pick the Chargers to beat us last week. I was told the New England Patriots will be one and done in the postseason because of our easy schedule. Now we beat Justin Herbert and a very good Chargers team, no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. I'll dare somebody to say Chargers are a bad team, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then we just beat, allegedly, what I've been hearing all week long, the best defense in football. So I don't want to hear no excuses about no easy schedule after we. Clearly, the Chargers aren't a bad team.
Yeah.
And Houston Texans, I guess now, because we beat them, ain't the best defense in football anymore. So, y'all can make any excuse y'all want. There's no doubt about it. The New England Patriots, like I said just a minute ago, we have been the most impressive defense in the playoffs. Drake May has been, if not the most impressive quarterback throughout the season in football. We have the number 1 rush defense in football. Have you not seen our secondary these past 2 games? We might have the best secondary in football. I think we have the favorite for coach of the year in football.
The MVP.
So from Ohio State.
I don't know what more we have to prove. I understand the strength for schedule. Yeah, and people out there are right about it. I'm not saying they're wrong. But you got to stop using that as an excuse after these last 2 weeks.
Elvis,
I don't want to hear that no more.
And for us,
I
was just saying, and for us, tell them, bring us our money.
There are no such things as bad teams in the playoffs. They're all good teams at this point. So,
and we're shutting them down. 19 points combined the last 2 weeks.
Joe, I want to hear from you. Thoughts on the Patriots being back at the top? Great defense, like Elvis alluded to. My MVP. What do you think?
I mean, dominant. They look good. Yeah, I think you had a little resurgence from the Texans to bring it 28-16. So I think the score wasn't really indicative of what we saw on the field. We saw a really lopsided matchup there, and you got to give the Patriots their credit to get those turnovers. To create those situations where they were in advantages, and I just great play calling by Mike Vrabel. he's a CEO type of guy. We've been throwing that around a lot, but he really does get all three phases of football together, the locker rooms together, and yet again, he had picture success in this 21st century because back in the day, we were talking about it. This Patriots organization has been around for a while. Back in the day, they were bad. And, obviously Belichick and Brady in the early 2000s, and then now seeing them here in this stage again, it kind of hurts a lot of people that aren't Patriots fans, unlike yourself, Elvis, because, I mean, you've been on the top for a while. So, yeah, it was an impressive performance, and crazy they're favorited, crazy the Bo Nix situation that they kind of get a little edge, but let's see if the crowd is much for them. Let's see if that defense is too much for them.
Home field advantage at Mile High.
You can't say it's a real thing. You can't say it's weak scheduling if they go and beat Denver there and make the Super Bowl.
And not for nothing, any given Sunday, any team could win the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Stidham could go out there and surprise us, throw for 220 and 2 tutties. Ex-Patriot. He knows how to win.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he wasn't there during the winning.
But still, he was in the building.
He saw the trophies. He touched them.
Stidham.
Oh, Stidham. Vrabel 12 for 12 catches and 12 touchdowns.
I mean, to your point earlier in the season, Josh McDaniels, what he's done for Drake May has been phenomenal. I mean, his development, he's really taken the next step. It's unfortunate as it is, but we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. But then the next game that we just wind up finishing, LA Rams 20, Chicago Bears 17. Heartbreaking. We get there with the +3.5, +4, whatever you're able to get. But shout out Harrison Maves. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ex-Jet winds up kicking.
I thought this was his first year.
No, I think he was on the Jets practice squad, and
then look what happened.
And then look, he goes out, and now he's in the
two former Jets in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, I thought had a hell of a game. He didn't throw for any touchdowns, but they ran the ball. They were consistent on the ground with Karen Williams. Cody Parkinson had a good game. Puka Nacua had key catches.
Didn't lose the game.
Yeah, they didn't lose the game, and as good as Caleb did and made some incredible throws, obviously
at the end,
it's the interceptions on 4th down early in the game as well. It led to a Karen Williams touchdown. The turnovers continue to haunt Caleb Williams, and I think they just ran out of magic. Joe, I'll let you speak because you had Bears money line.
Bro, man, we all believed. Like, I was just looking at all the Bears fans, all the Chicagoans. I mean, man, it just hurts, bro. That was heartbreaking. It really was. And I thought it felt like a team of destiny. It really did, and we don't know if they're going to be back in Chicago, right? They're going to create Chicagoland, right? They're going to Indiana now.
So that might go to Indiana.
That might be it. And I just really thought that it was going to culminate in them, maybe getting to the NFC Championship game. Team kind of similar to remind me of Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last year, making the NFC Championship. I mentioned that. But I do think, as we said, the NFC West being the better division in football, the better teams did move on. I think we had the best matchup possible there, and it's going to be intense. Two teams that know each other, and the Rams did what they needed to do. They got good special teams. You got Sean McVay that's going to coach a hell of a game, and then arguable MVP guy, right? Like, who's going to win, right? Is going to be Drake May or going to be Matt Stafford? I mean, do they have that decision yet?
No. They voted already. The votes are already in. They don't decide till I think in like a week or two.
Okay, so it's already been
NFL
decided.
honors or whatever.
Yeah, it's been decided. Yeah.
Joe, what'd you think of the game?
To be honest, I think the Rams got a little lucky. Just because I think the Bears, we saw their opportunities to win the game. Even in halftime, they had the opportunity. Yep. We saw Caleb Williams with their interception. I give some blame to Caleb Williams. I'm gonna give some blame to Ben Johnson as well. Even though he had a tremendous season, he's live for the Coach of the Year as well. We saw him fail multiple times in 4th downs. Each time they went for it on 4th down, they were in field goal range. If you just kick a field goal 2 out of those 3 times, you win this game in regulation. So
I'm glad you brought up Ben Johnson real quick. And I had preached this when they had scored there in that 4th quarter.
Yeah.
I thought they should have gone for 2.
Yeah.
And I said it. You go for
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it because I got the home field crowd.
I am.
I think the momentum was on your. I think the momentum was on your side after that game
Yes.
tying touchdown. So I'm okay with going with the extra point. But the first drive of the game, when Caleb Williams threw the interception on fourth down,
Take the
you could
points.
take the points,
Oh, take the
right? In the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left, take the points, make it 17-13. Guess what? That's a game-winning touchdown by Cole Kmet at the end. So, to me, I think Ben Johnson needs to be a little more conservative and take the points when given. Because, like I said, 3 fourth downs failed all three. All three were in field goal range. So
Yeah.
you could have won this game in regulation. I think Caleb Williams played a lot of hero ball this year. I think he had 8 or 9 game-winning drives, playoff and regular season. I think the running game was pretty damn great. 160 combined. Monangai did some catching and running. DeAndre Swift ran the ball pretty damn well. And Caleb, we saw that great run that was 26 yards from him. So, like I said, I think Chicago let this one slip. A little bit with Caleb Williams with the turnovers, and also with Ben Johnson with being a little too aggressive with the fourth downs. But Matthew Stafford, like you said, they'll play pretty damn well. Kerlin Williams had herself a day with the 2 tutties, 87 on the ground. And Puka Nacua, I understand he didn't light him up with the numbers, but he had some key blocks. If you were tuning in, he had a huge blocks down the field that honestly put him in position to score. So shout out Sean McVay reaching another NFC championship game. Shout out Matthew Stafford putting in position to once again get to another Super Bowl. And next week is going to be a hell of a matchup, but I honestly believe the Rams got lucky with this game.
I don't know what DJ Moore was doing out there. You compare the sides. I'd look at the weapons for the Rams, right? You say Mongai and Swift, Williams and Corum, also way better options. It's just hard to compare the two.
McVay got that one back for LaFleur.
That's his boy. That's his boy.
I love how everyone hates Ben Johnson. I'll say that. But despite
embrace the villain role,
exactly, embrace it.
Yeah. Be the bad guys of the division.
Despite losing, though, Chicago they won the division. And it was a great season. First year for Ben Johnson. Second year for Caleb Williams. He's taken that next step. And they won their first playoff game last year in 15 years. So the future is bright for Chicago.
Absolutely. And not for nothing, Caleb is still on their rookie deal. Hey, if you could add,
They need defense.
Yeah, if you could add a stud, they led the NFL in turnovers. That's good. If they could
bring Max Crosby.
Yeah, if they could bring an elite pass rusher. To me, and even though they got 4 sacks today, which was good, if they could bring another elite pass rusher to help that defense, I think the Bears can even take another step.
That's a great call, D. Max Crosby.
Joe, what does LA need to do to keep this one close against a good defense in Seattle next week?
Oof. I think more just Matt Stafford just beating him. I think the better quarterback play is going to come into play. I think the better quarterback's going to shine, but if Sammy D, bro, he comes out of nowhere, that's going to be crazy for us to see, looking at the Jets, the teams that passed up on the Panthers, signed as a backup to the 49ers, and then the Vikings, right? All these teams giving up on him, and then this got a guy in Sam Darnold beating Matt Stafford, arguable MVP to make the Super Bowl. I mean, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. Is Matt Stafford going to actually be Matt Stafford?
If Matthew Stafford doesn't throw for a touchdown, do the Rams beat the Seahawks?
Absolutely not. I think Matthew Stafford has to be the MVP of the league. He has to play like the MVP of the league if the Rams want to advance to the Super Bowl. We need an MVP type performance. We need Matthew Stafford to go on the road, throw for over 300 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and be damn near perfect. Let's not forget what Matthew Stafford is capable of doing. If there's one quarterback in the NFC, let's just say I expect to walk into Seattle and advance to the Super Bowl, I will bet on Matthew Stafford out of all the quarterbacks in the NFC to do that. So, and not for that, as a coach, Sean McVay as well. He's been there and done that. The moment won't be too big for him. So
scary. They're a scary team.
I think Matthew Stafford could prove not a lot of people are wrong because we all know Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer, but I think Matthew Stafford has an opportunity to set himself up and put himself in the conversation as an all-time great.
Yeah,
If
man.
he's able to beat this good Seattle in Seattle,
That'd
and
be
he's
2
able
Super
to win
Bowls.
that second Super Bowl,
Woo!
we will
you're
consider
right.
Matthew Stafford if probably not just one of the best quarterbacks in the 21st century, maybe one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
And
Bro.
we'll be thinking, imagine he wasn't on Detroit his whole
Bro, imagine
career.
he wasn't on the
Yeah, imagine if he was just in Detroit for like 4 or 5 seasons.
He's a loyal guy. That's why I
Him
like
and
Matthew
Megatron went
Stafford. Yeah.
to LA or something.
Oh, it should be
St.
really
Louis.
good. So right now the divisional round is set for Sunday, 3:00. You guys get the AFC game in Mile High. Opened up 4.5. Elvis smashed it. It's up to -5.5 already.
I told you we should be -6. Like realistically, like we're all respect to Stidham, but I think Bo Nix is a 7-point difference. Any starting quarterback, it's a 7-point difference.
Boys,
it makes sense.
it's all West Coast from here on out.
Yeah, and then Seattle, they get the late game, 6:30. They are 2.5-point favorites. I got it at -114. It's already up to -118. Money is coming in on Seattle already. I don't think it closes. I think it closes 3.5. Seattle.
Nah, I'm gonna say it stays at 2.5.
It's a long 7 days. We'll see.
If anything, I'll say you say you got at -114 is at 18 now.
Yeah.
I'll say it'll be -2.5, -120.
Hey, I don't know if I got this in, but just was thinking that all these NFC teams trying to get to the Super Bowl, the Patriots had beat when they got there.
Yeah.
Right? The Rams, the Seahawks,
exactly all of them.
It's
deja vu. Real quick though, before we get into the national championship tomorrow night, I wanted to talk about it. We didn't get to, but while the game was going on yesterday, Kevin Stefanski, they finalized a 5-year deal with Atlanta Falcons. They first hired Matt Ryan as president of football a few weeks ago. Then they just hired Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year, by the way, as their head coach. Now they turn their attention to getting a GM. They got a lot of pieces. We'll see what they do with the quarterback. But, Joe, I'll start with you. Like the move for Atlanta.
Yeah, the prestige of coaches are falling in their place, right? Obviously, John Harbaugh was at the top. He's the most prestigious coach that was on the market. And I think Stefanski might be the next guy, right? Like, who else is there?
Yeah, I agree.
The Falcons trying to move on the offensive side of the ball, moving away from Raheem Morris. I think that's what you did. You go into who I think has had success with a lot of offensive guys, quarterbacks, but just didn't find it in Cleveland. Like, it's always the same thing with this. Argue with quarterbacks not finding the right situation may be the same for head coach. So maybe Stefanski to do something maybe with the quarterback situation or just moving on from those two in Penix and Cousins altogether.
What'd you think? Atlanta, Kevin Stefanski.
Personally, I like Kevin Stefanski as a coach. To me, I would have rather him go somewhere where the quarterback situation is set in stone. Now with Atlanta, it's a question mark with the quarterback position. Is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Is it going to be Michael Penix? Is it going to be a third option from the outside? Is it going to be somebody at the draft? We saw, like I said, I think Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach, but we saw him throughout his tenure in Cleveland yet to develop a quarterback. And now you're in a situation where you need to develop a quarterback. I'm just not sure he's able to do that. I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised overall. Like I said, I would have, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I would have went somewhere where a quarterback already established. Right now, if I'm Atlanta, I'm looking at it. Yes, he's a good head coach, but can he take our offense to the next level and develop a quarterback at the same time? He's yet to do that in Cleveland. He won some games, won a playoff game, but can he develop a quarterback for the future? That's a question I need to answer.
Any ties to the Huskies? Any ties to Washington, Stefanski at all? Like any info about Penix prior to maybe feel comfortable and wanting to advance with him? Because I don't think he's really going to move on with an aging Kirk Cousins. You just saw him on TV this weekend. He's ready to go into the booth or talk every Sunday.
Yeah. No, he's from Pennsylvania. He went to St. Joseph Preparatorial. No ties to the Pacific Northwest. So Hey, he must like the pieces on offense. I mean, they got
And some great pieces.
Bijan is generational.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think he's a good head coach. There's no doubt the potential there with the offensive pieces around him.
Yeah.
But the biggest question for the Atlanta Falcons is the quarterback position. And what we've seen throughout his tenure in Cleveland, how many different quarterbacks has he had?
Yeah,
Look what Baker.
That's fair.
Look at him with Baker. Look what Baker is doing down in Tampa. Baker for the first few weeks of the season was an MVP candidate.
And
he was never an MVP candidate in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, and Liam Cohen was the one who really got him going too. And look what he's doing in Jacksonville.
And look what Trevor Lawrence is doing.
Exactly my point. Yeah. So we'll see. And they did just hire Matt Ryan, so maybe they're going to come together. Maybe go and get a quarterback. Maybe they go and draft one. Who the hell knows? But
do they have a GM?
No, that's
so
the next
it's
move.
Matt Ryan getting in headspace with Stefanski to go and get a GM now.
Yeah, okay. So they could all work together. And then lastly,
well, Matt Ryan might be the GM because I'm pretty sure he's the head of operations.
No, he's the president of football operations.
That's what I was saying. Dan Campbell should have been a couple episodes back. Remember?
Yes, you did call that.
And kept someone else in house. Ben Johnson, maybe.
Wanted to make this point real quick. Steelers, they're expected to make their first interview with Elvis's boy, Mike McCarthy. McCarthy, he's from Pittsburgh. You know, he worked with Steelers GM Omar Khan back in New Orleans when he was there. He's a Yinzer. Mike McCarthy's father owned a restaurant in Pittsburgh. He has ties. I think I'm not the biggest Mike McCarthy fan, but he is a Super Bowl champ.
And maybe in Pittsburgh,
it could work. But Aaron Rodgers is not.
He's gone.
He's gone.
They're in the market for a quarterback.
I'll start with you, Elvis. You're a Mike McCarthy guy. You've been advocating for him to get a head coaching. He took the year off. Now this seems like a good spot to go home. What are your thoughts here?
You know, we all know Mike McCarthy's a Super Bowl winning head coach with the Green Bay Packers in 2011, I believe. We saw him last time coaching. I think 3 out of his 4 seasons, he went 12-5 with the Dallas Cowboys. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. So do I like Mike McCarthy? Absolutely. Do I think he's the answer in Pittsburgh? Maybe. I like the new voice. I think Mike McCarthy, like I said, got a lot of coaching left. I think he could build up and coach the hell of an offense. You know, not for nothing. I think he's a good play caller, but you know, with Aaron Rodgers being there, I don't think him and Aaron Rodgers are gonna want to just say a reunion. So, who's gonna be the quarterback moving forward for the Pittsburgh Steelers if Mike McCarthy go in there? So, and is Mike McCarthy gonna be the guy like a long-term tenure? Because Pittsburgh Steelers only had 3 head coaches in their franchise career in their franchise. So is Mike McCarthy gonna? Do you guys see him being the next head coach for let's just say the next decade plus in Pittsburgh? To me, I don't see that. But to me, I think Mike McCarthy is a viable head coach for any team, even the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Joe, I'll start with you. Elvis made a good point. They're a stable organization. Only 3 head coaches in the last 40, 50 years. The next guy they're gonna get has to be the guy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the wall. I think you look at the persona of a Mike McCarthy and the attitude that he brings, and it does fit the mold of Pittsburgh, but it's just like how long is he going to stay type of thing. This historic franchise hasn't moved on from head coaches, like you said, in far too many. There's 3 historic ones, and they're going to have to keep a 4th close to the chest. They're not going to go 1-2 years with McCarthy and then go on the market and have to get another head coach. That's just not fitting what Pittsburgh does. So, yeah, I mean, this interview may be a warm-up or it may brew something. They're going to have to ask McCarthy, do you got 8 in you? You got 8 years left. Maybe they pull 8 out of the hat with the continual head coach that's, you know, going to want to stay there and then maybe, you know, coach up the next coach, kind of groom the next coach to take over from in-house so they don't have to go and have a guy resign like a Mike Tomlin and go on the market for a new one.
We do have 7 teams left for a head coach. Giants were first off the mark with John Harbaugh. and Atlanta was next with Kevin Stefanski. We'll see how the dominoes fall. We'll break it down here on the Dream Wager. But before we get to the college football national championship down in Miami, quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. Is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Indiana taking on Miami, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, boys, let's get to it. Monday night at the Hard Rock Stadium down in beautiful Miami, Florida. Home game here for the Hurricanes. #1 Indiana trying to go for the perfect season, taking on Mario Cristobal and the Florida Hurricanes. Indiana laying 7.5 here, -320 on the money line, +260 for the Hurricanes. Total is 47.5. Joe, I will start with you. Can the Hoosiers have the perfect season?
Stay undefeated as it is. And I mean, Miami, like they're at home. They look to be a more physical team sometimes against opponents, but I just don't know if it's going to be the same with Indiana. I mean, this is a different ball club. Like, I don't know if I could put too much merit into people arguing that there's a coaching mismatch with Cristobal. I think he does what he does well, but Kurt Zagnetti, I think in this position, what he has, all the continuity of the players and just everything going their way, I think they'll do it. I think they're going to get the perfect season done. I did see them, like we said at the end of the season, I did see them beating Ohio State. I know you hate to hear that. And yeah, I mean, I think I think this team though, man, it's beautiful to watch. I think for all of us, we can enjoy it, and it very well could be one of the last undefeated seasons we ever see. I think that's something that could be put out there, because not often you're going to be able to get that 0 in the loss column with the way college football set up now. So I think I got to go with history. I'm going to go all in with Indiana. I'll lay whatever points they're laying and go on with, like I said, the Hoosiers to get it done. Perfect.
Hurricanes at home, like Joe said, they do have a good defensive line. They could get after the quarterback. But Kirk Zagnetti, what him and Fernando Mendoza has done all year is nothing short of spectacular. Can the Hurricanes keep it within a touchdown?
I'm gonna lay the 7.5 here with Indiana. Don't get me wrong. Can the Canes keep it close? I give them a better shot to make it a better game than what we saw
First half.
The previous few games from Indiana in these college playoffs, because it's just been nothing but blownouts. We saw it against, Ohio State. We saw it against Alabama. We saw it against Oregon. And not for nothing, with Miami's front line, that defense, we know they're going to get after the quarterback. I think they'll bring some pressure, and they'll make Frank Mendoza, let's just say, not look as good as he's been. And then with Carson Beck there, he has experience. He's been in college football since like 2010. So, he's played in the biggest of games. So I don't think the spotlight will be too big for him. I expect him to make some plays with his arms and his legs. But I think there's no denying this Indiana team. Mendoza's been the best player in the nation, no doubt #1 pick. And you can make the case the Indiana Hoosiers has been the best team over the last 2 seasons. Like I said, I think Miami are going to make the game more interesting than the previous matchups against Indiana. But I think Indiana wins by 10. I expect Miami to at least make it interesting. I'm going to say Miami 24-37 Indiana.
Yeah, I guess this is a team ride. I'm going to lay the 7.5 here. It doesn't matter. I just think offensively they're too good. Italian-American of the year, Kirk Zagnetti. That's my guy. I think Fernando Mendoza. All the Raider fans, too, I hear that some don't want Fernando Mendoza. you're out of your mind if you're not taking Fernando Mendoza. The guy is, I don't want to say generational talent,
has
but
all the tangibles, maybe a little
Yeah.
lack of the arm talent, but enough that he can throw the ball down the field to his guys. Remember, no 5-star talents on this team. Look how good they've looked. They're being led by him, and I think and a leader.
Real quick before you chime back in, Dylan, I think Mendoza's at least from a prospect perspective, I think he's a better he's the best quarterback that came out the draft these last 2 seasons. I like his ceiling more than I like Cam Ward's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I
And the
couldn't
year
agree
before that
more.
was who? Who was the year before that? Who was the year before that? Like the draft class?
No, I'm just saying this year and last year's draft.
Okay. Fair.
But yeah, I just think defensively, I think Miami on the defensive line, they might get a little pressure, but the offensive line for Indiana has been stout all year. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, and I see a 14-point win. I think they win comfortably here. Joe, you mentioned the first half. Indiana's laying 4.5 here, so maybe if you like that a little more instead of laying
I
the
say
whole
that's
touchdown.
the only time that I think Miami will keep it close. I think Indiana pulls away late. I think they're gonna at least score 40 points. I think Indiana
37. I got 37-24.
Yeah, I think they're scoring like 40, bro.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
I don't think Miami can get 40 points on the board.
And Joe, to answer your question, it was an elite class. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May,
as
Bo
you said,
Nix.
that might arguably be one of the best classes.
And JJ McCarthy.
9.
Michael Penix Jr. We're saying with JJ.
They can't even be said in the same breath. Real quick though, yeah, I think we're all looking at the over as well, or like team total over for Indiana as well. We just think they're going to be in the 30s here. Let's go to props though, real quick. It is brought to you by Props.Cash, the best way to research all your player props. Elvis, Joey, and I have been using Props.Cash for 2 years now. It's helped us find an edge in several player prop markets on the web or the Props.Cash app. You'll get quick visual data on player trends, matchup history, and recent performance across every major sport. Clean, reliable stats that make it easy to spot value. Players start at just $19.99 a month, and right now you can get 25% off your first month with code DREAM25. That is DREAM25. So download the app, not now, but right now, and you'll sign up with the monthly subscription. Use code DREAM25, and you'll be paying just $14.99 your first month. Level up your prop research today at Props.Cash. Kid, I'm going to start it off. Give me Elijah Sariat. He scored a touchdown in 9 straight games for the Indiana Hoosiers. He's the wideout. He is so good. He's averaging a touchdown a game, and you can get that at -110. Fernando Mendoza loves him. One of his favorite. Ooh, Joe, I'll let you go because I was about to sneeze.
You good? Bless you, dude. Man, I'm looking at a couple props. I'm thinking like something sneaky. You know what I mean? I think there's a crazy one here, though. It's like kind of flying under the radar. They're saying that Fernando Mendoza is going to have a longest pass over 45.5 yards. I don't think that would be the only thing that I wouldn't say that he would do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that defense is enough that, like, look what happened in the last game. They're going to control the field position. He doesn't going to have to gain as many yards, and he does have a good enough running game that he can rely on the right? What's his the running back is number 8, right? He's been looking good back there. So I think under on the 45.5 longest
Mark
pass.
Fletcher.
No, not for Miami, for Indiana.
For Indiana, Keldon Black.
Yeah, number 8. Yeah,
Yes,
dude,
yes.
He's been running up and down as well. So no slack on Mark Fletcher. He's led the nation in rushing yards. But yeah, I'm going to say 40. He doesn't have to throw for a 45.5 yard pass. I'll take under, and it's -115. So it's
Okay.
fair money.
What do you like, Elvis?
We just saw a couple weapons for Miami on the outside with Tony make some tremendous grabs, and then we saw Keelan Marion have 114 yards last week against Ole Miss. His over-unders at 42 yards. I'm gonna go Keelan Marion over 42 receiving yards. I expect them to be down. I expect them to throw the ball. Miami, and I think they're gonna hit their weapons. I kind of like Tony as well, over 61.5, but I feel like most of the attentions are gonna be on him. He's only 18 years old, and he might be the best player on the team. But I think Keelan Marion over 42.5 is a great option, just because, like I said, they're gonna be down. They're gonna have to throw the ball, and the kid just had a buck 14 last week.
Yeah, I don't mind that, especially in a shootout with a lot of points, and they're going to be down. So Carson Beck's going to have to throw the ball. He's averaging 62 yards on the year, Marion, as well. And Props.Cash likes that play as well. So, boys, good luck. President Trump will be in attendance tomorrow, so it's going to be a hell of a show. Enjoy the game. Elvis, I know you do have work, so get that money. I hope you get time and a half as well. Federal holiday.
Oh, yeah. It's for sure. And I'll be watching the game.
Exactly. Getting paid. So, boys, enjoy the game. Good luck on all your bets, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Until then, take care of yourself
Shout out, Adam.
and each other. Peace, boys.